This will never end. This is the job. This is why you get paid the big bucks. This is why we are a better office than those around us. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. The thing standing in the way of you having the perfect practice is you. YOU. Let me explain. Closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD Podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Thank you for the likes, subscribers, just all the good vibes that I've been getting. 2025, I hope you guys are having an amazing year. So when I played football at Saginaw Valley, my coach was Randy Ori, and I really, really liked the guy. Old school, hard-nosed. I liked what he stood for. And every spring, so in spring football, you go and they're recruiting new people, but a lot of people get a chance to show what they have. They get a chance to improve. Guys in the fall that didn't get they're preparing for the season. So they're going to play these starters, the ones, twos, and then young guys are on scout team if they're redshirted or whatnot. They just don't get a chance to play. Well, spring, all the guys that graduated are gone. And it's just practices, and you get a chance to show your stuff. It was really cool to go through. And Coach Ari would come in, and he'd look at us, and he'd be like, your job is to be the best that you can be. And my job over the course of now through the summer is to find someone better. In the fall, we'll see who was better at their job. And that has stuck with me my entire life since then. There's always someone trying to take your spot, trying to be better than you and take your spot. And you can only control what you can control. But don't be naive. Don't think that you have it made, that you're not one that can be overtaken. Case in point, the office in Allendale here, before I started, a 20-year legacy office, and I came in and started an office, and I've made a dent. I'm doing very well. If they would have played their cards right, they could have really owned Allendale in my mind, right? I want to take over that spot. I want to own Allendale. I have bigger aspirations than just Allendale, but I'm not complacent enough to think we can't keep pushing the envelope. Okay? Now, that leads me to where I'm at in this stage of growth. And we've added an associate. We have a bigger office, room to grow. It's been really fun because I haven't had this much enthusiasm, this much juice since the first 3 years I started my office. And now we're really putting money, effort, and energy to get bigger. And things that I'm noticing. When you're a cold start, when you start yourself, you put procedures in place that are the least costly, right? You don't have a lot of money and you have to do a lot of the work. I was doing orders. I was going into optical, answering phones. I did everything, right? And that's great. That gets you so far. It got me to this point. But as I've added an associate, one of the things that she brought to my attention that I think is really what I've known, but it's just more light shed on it, is that she's like, when I was at my other offices, I didn't have to think about this. It was so much of a machine. I would just do my exam in the front desk. I would do my exam in the front desk, and the opticians would sell the glasses, sell the contacts. They'd go over those conversations. And she had really good numbers. And it's been a little bit different here because I've set everything up that's dependent on me, right? My systems aren't good enough to do what she's had in the past. Now, it's not that she can't do it. It's just she has to be aware of that. And I want to get to a point that we have those systems in place. That's why the offices that she was at were probably that good. They could just take a doctor, plug them in, and even if they're good or bad, they have the systems to make it work, right? That's a business. That's what I want. When it's all dependent on me, it's fine when it's me, but I'm my biggest barrier to growth and getting to where I want. I have to replace myself. And that's something I put a lot of thought and energy into. And you guys, if you're starting a practice, if you have a practice, if you want to get bigger, do it now. Have this in mind. And I have a couple of things that I think are keys to making this successful. And number one is you have to delegate, right? Put things on your staff's plate. They have to be able to do the things that you're probably better at, but teach them how. Give them the tools. Remember, they need to be 80% as good as you. And continually give them the chance to get better. And I've done that. Like my front desk office manager, she needs a better talent around her, but she can handle most of the things that I don't like doing, like bills, ordering, handling patient concerns. My optical manager, been incredibly proud of her. We've had some lab issues, dealing with patients, getting stuff in, and she's handling it. Like those are headaches and fires that I used to have to deal with. I'm not, and I have more relief. It's honestly weight off my shoulders, right? So they're getting that aspect. We have to get better at them developing the talent, and I've helped them now that I've had a little bit more time. My optical staff is running amazing. They're happy. They like how she's leading. We're getting a lot of sales. We've gotten better, right? We have a better system in place. When it comes to the front desk, my techs, I just don't have the talent right there. We are cleaning house right now, and it might be a 3-for-3 switch or 2-for-3, like getting rid of 2. We are not settling for average. We are going to be as good as we possibly can be, and if that means putting people in place or removing people from the equation, we'll do it. But we have a better culture, and my job is to find someone better. Their job is to be the best they can. We'll see who's better at that, right? So we're working on that. So delegating to your staff. That took some trust. The best thing though was in the new office, I'm separated from it, so it's easily done. When I'm in the mix and I can hear and be and see everything, I would go in there, and even though I tried not to I was the easy button. I'd save the day. Now they do it on their own and we just go with it. And I had to give them like that sense of like, just make it go away so I don't have to deal with it. And I'm proud of you. Like if it's something wrong, we'll deal with it. But it took them a long time, almost a year and a half, to understand that I meant that. Okay. The other thing is trying to replace yourself. Your thought, my thought is at least, well, what if I put all my effort and energy into this person and then they leave? Well, spoiler alert, they're going to. They're going to leave. The only person that's going to be with this office till the day that it's done is you, because you own it. But the moment you sell, you're gone too. Deuces. Like, get out of there, right? That's why you have to be redundant, right? When I give things to my staff, my managers have it, but I have backups. Make sure that they know how to do this. Make sure that your other counterparts do it. So if there is someone that is gone or leaves or is out for an extended period of time on vacation, we can still operate and function, right? You have to have redundancies in the system. And that starts with my next thing. To have redundancies, you need systems. Have systems in place. And I don't have great systems the way I want them to be. We're going to put SOPs. And this is part of EOS is what are the main things? What are the 80% that give you your business? Right? Write them down step by step. So a new person can come in and they can read them and know what to do. That's the ultimate redundancy. And we have a lot of Loom videos. I like Loom, where we make videos of how to do a task, how to do things. That's how we trained our VAs. And a new person can come in, look at those videos. That's why I have those archived. So you train one person and then it's their evergreen, right? But we need to get better at the systems, the things that matter. So those are things that I'm doing right now to be better. In addition, you have to teach your leaders how to lead. If you're lucky enough to have a natural leader, hold on to them. Give them everything they need to be happy, because that's the thing that I'm having trouble finding. The people that are going to take me to the next level I don't think I have right now. With me here to cover up, to be the band-aid for all their, you know, shortcomings, I can cover things up. I make things more efficient. We can have lesser talented people. But if I wasn't there every day, if I wasn't there to swoop in, save the day, have the ideas, we wouldn't have as successful as an office, right? So at some point, I need to get an operator in that can run the day to day, that knows how to lead and develop talent, right? My thought process is I'm going to get as good as I possibly can, build up the office, get that extra income, and then I'll be able to hire someone to be an operator. And then as we build or scale to new offices, they'll be able to handle those things. Now, in the interim, my managers, I'm trying to teach them what to do. Conversation I had with one of my managers, we're got some new hires coming in, and we're still interviewing. And I looked at them and I said, hey, we're going to interview, but I really just don't think you guys have the bandwidth right now to be training multiple people at the same time. Each of you can train one, but multiple. But we're still going to do the interviews. Once the ad runs out, we'll give ourselves some time, regroup, and go. And they looked at me and they're like, well, why are we doing the interviews? And I said, one, if you look at our past, we've had people come that lasted 2 days or they've lasted a month. You want to have all the leverage. You want to have all the advantage. You want more cards in your hand. If you find someone that's really talented and they're better than one of the people that you're not happy with, you don't think you're going to make it work? We've been searching for 6+ months. They're like, oh, yeah. Exactly, I said. And every time you interview, you are getting better at knowing what we're looking for. You add something new. You're sharpening your sword. You have to be as efficient as you possibly can be. You're always learning. You're always getting better, but you always want to have options because things happen. And they're like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. But it wasn't intuitive, right? They don't see that because, again, they're in their little bubbles. I've been through 13 years of battle, and I know what's going to happen. I know that even though we get a team in place and they're like, oh, thankfully we're set. Yeah, until the next person leaves or something happens or they get complacent and they think that they got it made. No, we have the standard that we have to maintain. We always have to be getting better and pushing ourselves. This will never end. This is the job. This is why you get paid the big bucks. This is why we are a better office than those around us. This is what you have to have in your mentality. But we always have to be making ourselves better. Trying to get them to see that and giving them the priorities of the things that matter. That's kind of where I'm at. And within that realm, you have to give them clear, concise expectations. These are what my expectations are of you for this job. Optical, we got it made. My office manager, when I talk to her, I've given her the benefit of the doubt. A lot of it is, hey, you haven't had the best talent. We've put all our energy towards optical. Okay. But now that we got your hand-picked options here, if we aren't doing it, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. She's like, I know. I get it. Good. Because we have to move forward. We have to be able to get the most out of the people that we have. And there's been a lot of learning, a lot of things that have come along the way. And one of the things that, for example, case in point, what do you mean? What have they learned? One, I don't care if they're good or they're bad. If they're working for you, you have to give them respect, right? You can't look at someone and just have disdain for them. If you do, you're a bad leader, right? They deserve your baseline respect. Now, you can be mad or disappointed, or they can't be meeting expectations, but you still treat them with respect. The other thing is, you can see this one person, X, Y, or Z, and they're not doing well. And if they ask a question, how you respond, everyone else is watching. And yeah, they may be doing the same thing and asking that, but the people around you, they don't know. They're like, if she ever did that to me, I'd be out. Or if she talked to me like that, I would be giving it right back to her, right? Well, I would never do that to you. Well, they don't know that. That's why I've tried to get praise in public, give feedback, criticism in private, right? You want everyone to look at you and know that they think they're going to be treated how you're treating X, Y, and Z. That's what they think the standard of care is, right? How you operate. Everyone's always watching. I'm always aware of that. They need to be aware of that. But again, these are things that I've learned when I'm trying to replace myself. These are lessons I've taught myself that I have to delegate. I have to, have redundancies in the system, set up systems, teach them what to do, what to prioritize, and what I expect of them. When you look at your business, it's really humbling when you realize the majority of the reason why you're not where you want to be is because of the person looking at you in the mirror. I could have been so much further had I grown or developed as a leader, recognized these things earlier. So I hope you're listening to this and you're early in your career. You've not even started, you're about to take these to heart. I used to think, well, you pay for what you don't know. Now, again, I'm better because I know these things, but I could have had an office manager and delegated more from the beginning. I could have had these systems in place. Now, again, I had to learn a lot of these things along the way, and you are always going to be evolving and changing, but do it with a team. Don't let yourself be the reason why you're successful, because as you grow and expand, as your role is minimized, you'll see the shortcomings. It's always just been dependent on me. I just do this and take care of it. When other people come in from better offices or just how they've been and they have good techs or good support, they're not going to be prepared, and it's going to take even more effort to get them where they need to be. That's just an observation. And the same thing when people come in when they're hired. If you don't have systems in place and you have to teach them everything without a general protocol, they get frustrated because they're like, you're coming at me from a bunch of different angles. I have a new thing every day. Everyone here is teaching me a different way to do the same thing. It's chaos. If someone came in and had to learn how to be a tech, how to be an optician, do you have a straight line protocol? If you ask everyone in your office, how do you check in a patient? How do you go through an optical with a patient? How do you pick out frames? Are they uniform? Or is everyone doing something different? Look at your office. There's a lot of ways that you can grow. Don't make it because, it's not the beginning of the year or it's not our, anniversary of X, Y, or Z. You can make the change tomorrow. Make sure you are operating at the best you possibly can be, and you're doing these self-checks. Because honestly, I turned a blind eye to it for X amount of years, and now I'm paying the price. Don't make the mistakes I did. Be better now. That's what I have for you. We'll have more for you next week. Where has the time gone? We're to the closing thought of the episode, and I will leave you with this. When you think about what you want out of your practice, make sure you are doing what makes you happy. A lot of times, you'll see what other practices are doing, or you'll hear things about why, someone's not in the exam room except one day a week, or X, Y, or Z. When I brought on the associate, I really was like, man, what am I going to do? Like, 3 days a week sounds really good, right? I have 2 days that I'll work on the office instead of in it. And I gave it a shot, right? And you know what happened? I had a lot of downtime, right? Not that I didn't take advantage of that, but I'm like, man, I could be seeing patients. Do I need all this downtime? So I tried to split the baby, and I'll do half day on Thursday. And again, I realized I'm happiest when I have a full schedule, I'm seeing patients, but what I miss is when I'm working till 5 at night, I'm working till 6 at night, and I don't get to see my kids. Well, I do need time to work on the practice, but I can do that in a day. I'm still, even when I had Thursday off, Friday off, I was still going in on Sundays because I like that time to get ready for the week. So I looked at myself in the mirror and said, man, you have this extra time. It's not fulfilling you. It's not really what's giving you juice. I'm like, maybe I'll read studies. I'll do this and that. And I just felt I was really not productive. Well, I've come to the conclusion. I work all day Monday. The other doctor's not in, but she's working Monday or Tuesday through Friday. I work 9 to 3. And then I get out and I go and see my kids and spend time with my family. I'm seeing like 20 patients a day, and then I'm home to spend time with the wife and kids. And it's awesome. I have Fridays to work on the business. And if I gave that schedule to a lot of people, I think they'd be like, "Eh, I don't know if I like that. That's not what gives me juice." And that's great. But that's why it's great for me. I try to position myself how other people, had the perfect practice, had the perfect job, right? And I like what I do. I like my patients. I like being in the office, in the exam room, and I have a really good foundation. I get the patients in. I feel like I'm giving good patient care. I'm operating at the maximum of my level. I just want to get out when I want to get out. And that's where the associate, it's her time to shine. She's filling up her schedule because people want those later afternoons. My patients are more established that they'll fill my schedule, but new patients are seeing her. It's the perfect ratio of me being in the office and having time to work on the office. If I need to stay late, I'll do it one day here or there, but it's not the end of the world. It's awesome. And as my kids get older and I have more freedom, I thought about it. Like there's things that I want to do outside of the business, like working with like the high schools in terms of coaching or um other activities I want to do when I start other offices. Like I'm gonna have to shift my workload. But in the season I'm at, I just really enjoy what I'm doing. And I think that's something that you have to look and ask yourself, what do you want? And if I wasn't going into the office Thursday and Friday, I think I could work 3 days a week. I think there'll be a time, listen to the episode, when I have delegated enough that I don't need to be there. Then I think 3 days a week when I don't have to go in is fun. But if I'm going to go into the office, I'm going to see patients. That's just kind of how I feel. If I'm not going to see patients, then I don't need to be there. And I think that's what I've realized. If I'm there, I might as well work. If I'm not in the office, the reduced schedule, I think, is where I'm going to end up. So I hope that gives you perspective. It's a closing thought that's more of a realization that I had. Let me know what your perfect schedule is. Leave it in the comments below. Send me an email. That's what I have, drlily